guys, welcome back to my channel. So before we get into today's video, I also wanted to start off by saying a couple of things and just to explain what today's video is about or what I'm thinking. So I have been struggling, you guys. I don't know about you, but I have been struggling to shoot content. So I am posting on Instagram, so I have pictures on Instagram. I even have a couple of videos out. In case you don't follow me on there, go ahead now, follow me. So I've been creating on other platforms. I even did like a couple of blog posts, but doing YouTube videos, you guys, I've lost all motivation. Like I plan to do videos. I have a bunch of video ideas that I want to shoot, but whenever I just get up to shoot, something happens, something comes up, and I just lose my mojo. So I want to do a little bit of a challenge. So I want to do 3 videos in 3 days. I know 3-day challenges are like child's play. They're too short actually to make any change. But I'm hoping that by the end of my 3rd day, I would have created a new habit of shooting more regularly and posting. So I will be shooting 1 video every day. I'll edit it on that same day and get it out the next day. So this video you're watching right now, I'm going to shoot it today, edit it today, and it will be out tomorrow. So you're watching this a day after I've shot it. So I intend to do this for 3 days, shoot every day, edit every day, and then have the video out the next day for 3 days. So 3 videos in 3 days. Now if you've been watching me on this channel, you know that's like a lot. I'm not that consistent, but I just feel like I've been struggling across even my business. I've been struggling generally with consistency, with productivity, and I'm not always like that. I'm not usually like that. I'm not someone who doesn't execute. So I'm hoping that this new 3-day challenge will start me off on a better path of being consistent, and I'm hoping that this will also spread across other areas of my life. So day 1, video 1, let's go. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. I'm so happy to be shooting another video today. It's been a minute and it was unintentional, and I explained a little bit of the reason for that at the beginning of this video. So welcome to video 1, day 1 of my 3 videos in 3 days challenge. And yeah, let's get into it. In case it's the first time here, my name is Sky and I make minimalist style and beauty content here on YouTube and on Instagram and on my blog and everywhere else. So in case you like that kind of stuff, welcome to my channel. Stick around, subscribe, and let's get into the video now for real. Okay, so I've been seeing this video floating around the internet, specifically among minimalist content creators, and I've been wanting to do that. This is the 5 things I've stopped buying as a minimalist video. So in this video, I'll be sharing 5 things that I have since stopped buying, that I don't actively purchase or take into my life. In case you didn't know, I'm a minimalist, and I did talk a little bit about my journey in minimalism in a previous video. I'm going to link it up here in case you want to check it out. So I've been minimalist for like forever, but I didn't know what the term was. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know that there was a name for it even. I just knew that clutter and excess was something that I just did not like when I was very, very young. So but in the past few years, when I've become even more aware and knowledgeable about that part of myself, I've then taken active steps to not mindlessly taking stuff and just gather and hoard stuff. So the first thing that I've stopped buying on this list is something that if you're not Nigerian or West African, this concept might be not very common to you. It's called ashwebi. Now ashwebi is basically the uniform that the friends and family of a celebrant would wear during occasions. So let's say a wedding or a burial ceremony. So the friends and family of a particular person or a host would kind of wear a pre-agreed fabric or color of clothing to that ceremony. So it's really for identification purposes and also just for celebration, right? And if you know our style here, our traditional styles here, they are really, really elaborate. So the average Nigerian ashwebi or native style is really, really elaborately, really like seriously sewn with lots of beadings and couturiering happening. Now that's not my style. If you follow me, you know I'm not about that life. I'm on the simpler, laid back, chill style, and this also reflects in my, even when I sew native. Now ashwebi is something that usually is expensive not just upfront, because a lot of times those fabric are usually like special type of fabric. They're not like common, so they're pretty expensive. Let me say the average 3 to 6 years of ashwebi here can cost like at the very least 10k, and that 10k, and I'm being very conservative here. So let me say you buy 10k, 15k, 25k, 50k upwards worth of ashwebi fabric, and then you go to sew it for another 10k, 15k, depending on who you're sewing from. Add to the cost of other things, makeup, gele, scarf, shoes, bags. I don't know if you did. Most people spend upwards of 25k on ashwebi, and more often than not, they wear those clothes just once. Like, I don't know, it's fun and it's nice and it looks beautiful in pictures, and it's like it adds to our celebration and it's our culture, and I love that part. But I just feel like for me personally, Ashwabi is something that doesn't serve me. I don't like, it's just wasteful and it's, I don't know, a little unnecessary sometimes. Now, if you yourself are the actual immediate nuclear family of a celebrant, maybe, but if I like a regular guest or a friend, I don't see how this would serve, and definitely doesn't serve me. So I've stopped buying Ashwebi. I think I stopped buying Ashwebi. It's been like 8 to 10 years now, if I'm not mistaken. And I've stopped buying Ashwebi. So of course I'll dress nice. Of course I have some native that I've sewn for occasions. But generally speaking, Ashwebi is something that I have closed. I've stopped buying. So that's my number one thing on my list. The second thing I've stopped buying is eyeshadow palettes. Now, this is a little controversial because I myself have my own makeup brand, so I'm hoping that eventually I will expand and have possibly my own eyeshadow palette. But for now, I've stopped buying eyeshadow palettes, and this is just because I just feel like you can only, like, they're usually not very useful in terms of, a lot of times, you know, when you buy eyeshadow palettes, first of all, their colors are usually repeated from palette to palette. I see lots of similarities in the palettes that you find nowadays in the market. And how many colors do you even use per palette? If you're honest with yourself, unless you're a makeup artist or someone who works with makeup, usually eyeshadows are like those kind of things that they are pretty to look at, and some of them have really beautiful colors and great formula. But at the end of the day, for a regular person, how many colors in a palette do you really use? Then now imagine having multiple palettes in your makeup kit. Now it's nice to gather them, and I guess you always feel like you're gonna need one color or the other color, but more often than not, everybody, if you're watching this, let me know in the comment section if your experience is different. But for me, eyeshadows are like, I think you just need just two palettes, one for neutrals, one for color. And for the most part, if you have two good palettes, I think you're good to go for the most part. For me personally, I've stopped buying them because I currently have some eyeshadow palettes that give me basically all that I want. And I was lucky enough to get gifted some eyeshadow palettes last year from Flawless Ivy. Flawless Ivy is a Nigerian brand that I use a lot of their products, and they're very good. So they very kindly gifted me a few eyeshadow palettes last year. So I'm basically sorted for eyeshadow for the next 1 year. So I stopped buying eyeshadow palettes. If that's your thing and you love it, absolutely buy them. But me personally, I just feel like it's unnecessary. I don't need all the palettes. And to be fair, many of the palettes that are coming out right now are basically like a remix of the same colors over and over, some browns and some blues and some greens, and that's it basically. So unless of course I find a palette that is so unique and so beautiful that I don't have those same colors, then I can consider buying. But for now, no eyeshadows, no eyeshadow palettes, no new eyeshadow palettes anyway. My third item that I stopped buying is physical exfoliators. Now, if you have the kind of skin that I have, my skin is oily and I'm acne prone and I have large pores and I have white hairs too. So exfoliating is very, very important. Like, exfoliating is key to a smoother, brighter skin. Now, in the past, I have tried a lot of drugstore exfoliators, physical exfoliators that I mean, like them scrubs. So I've tried a bunch of those, and some of them work, but a lot of times they're usually underwhelming. So after having, thought about it a lot, I come to realize that physical exfoliators don't really work for my skin. Like, they don't really give me enough or good enough results for me to keep buying them. Now, on the other hand, I did try the AHA BHA peeling solution from The Ordinary. So I tried the chemical exfoliator and it gave me a much better result. So physical exfoliators are great, I guess. If they work for you, that's also wonderful. But for me, they don't work. I've tried from Neutrogena I've tried a bunch of those and it just doesn't do anything for me. I don't know if anybody else has a different experience, but for me, they just don't do much. Maybe it's my skin type, maybe just my skin. I don't know what it is. But physical exfoliators don't do much for me, so I've stopped buying them in total. They don't work for me, I don't need them, they don't do anything for me, so there's no point for me to keep buying or keeping them. So that's the number 3 on this list. The fourth thing is shaving creams. I know this is a little controversial because you'll be wondering, I actually at this time still shave. Maybe this is TMI, but I'm a shaver. Because waxing is something that I'm yet to try. It seems painful, which is weird because I'm not really afraid of pain. Pain of waxing just seems like a little bit too much, I think. So I'm yet to muster the courage to try waxing. Laser is of course pretty expensive, and this is something that I think I will eventually do long term. But for now, I just feel like shaving creams are like a little bit too much chemical especially around, down here. I feel like on your armpits great, like I don't mind using armpit legs, but when it comes to the bikini area, I just feel like I don't want to put that kind of chemical around that side too often. That's my feeling about shaving creams. So I don't buy shaving creams anymore. They don't serve me, I don't like them, I don't buy them. No. And last on this list of 5 things that I don't buy is tight colored clothing. Now, if you've been following me for a bit, or even if you've not, I personally love neutrals, much more structured pieces as opposed to skin tight. I mean, my body is alright, like I don't have any complaints about my body, but I just feel like tight clothing don't really like flatter me that much. Like I'm a curvy person, so maybe that's why I feel this way, but tight clothing don't really flatter me so much, and I feel like you can only do so much with tight clothing. They're just there, they're just tight and just there. But I like a much more, a little flowing, a little structured type of clothing, and I like them in more neutral colors, more earth tones. I don't have any need for hot pink, neon green, bright yellow clothing, so I don't buy them. I don't care how beautiful that item is, I'll just admire it from afar. So that's the good thing about minimalism. Minimalism gives you the freedom to enjoy things for what they are without necessarily having the need to bring them into your life. So I love clothing and shoes and bags that are all them colors, like yellow, like I love everything. But when it comes to purchasing things that I'm going to take into my life, then I absolutely do not go for tight color clothing. They don't suit me, I don't feel comfortable in them, I don't like them, I don't think they look good on me at least. So I don't buy them, I just don't. If that's your style, absolutely, good for you, but that's just not my style, so I've stopped buying them, basically. Yeah. So guys, that's it. The very short list of 5 things that I've stopped buying since becoming minimalist. I hope this encourages and inspires you to be more conscious and more cautious of the things you keep and buy into your life. In the meantime, subscribe in case you're not, give the video a thumbs up, and I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye bye. So day 1, video 1 is done, and I'm really proud of myself that I got it done, and I'm hoping that I'll just go ahead now and edit and have it out tomorrow as promised. So yeah, this is my day 1, video 1 of my 3 video in 3 days challenge. 3 videos in 3 days challenge. So yeah, tune in for day 2, video 2 tomorrow. In the meantime, bye.